Do you know what the most popular and recommended exercise is for people over 60? Walking. Of course. And it's wonderful. It gives you fresh air, clears your mind, and keeps your blood flowing. But I have to tell you a hard truth, one that can change your life and your safety. Daily walking, by itself, is no longer enough to guarantee your safety and longevity. Think about it. Walking maintains stamina, but it doesn't strengthen the key muscles that prevent falls. Nor does it work on the rotational balance that protects your spine. Imagine that there's a way to reduce your risk of falls by a staggering 73% and increase the functional strength you need to live independently by almost 90%. And best of all, using 40% less time than you currently spend on your usual walk. A compelling study, published in 2024 by the University of Copenhagen, revealed something amazing. There are 5 specific movements that far surpass the benefits of walking for those of us over 60, improving blood pressure and reducing joint pain. I'm Dr. Elena Castillo, and after decades of supporting people through this golden stage of life, I know that what we fear most isn't age itself, but losing the ability to get up on our own, tie our shoes, or climb a step without hesitation. I'm not here to scare you, but to be your ally and empower you. I've seen firsthand how the fear of falling paralyzes my patients, forcing them to confine their world to 4 walls. And that's not living. Many of my patients, now over 70, tell me, "Doctor, I walk every day. Why do my legs still feel weak?" The answer is that old age, in muscular terms, isn't a disease. It's a challenge of endurance. If you only walk, you're repeating the same movement, neglecting the deep muscles of your core and hips, which are the true armor of your body. Today, we're going to move beyond walking as our only solution and build a body that's a true safe haven. Forget about going to the gym or buying expensive equipment. These 5 exercises can be done at home, with just a chair and a wall. They're simple, inexpensive, and scientifically proven. Get ready to discover these 5 movements that, I assure you, will change the way you view your wellness routine and give you back the confidence to live life to the fullest. The change starts with your decision today. To understand the power of these 5 movements, we must first change our mindset. It's not about the number of miles you walk, but about the quality of your body's response to the unexpected. The key isn't continuous endurance, but reaction time. Think about it. If you trip on the rug or have to quickly step up onto a curb, your body needs what we call explosive power and lateral stability. Walking doesn't train you for that. That's why my patients who walked daily kept falling. They were training the engine, but not the car's chassis. These exercises strengthen your anti-fall tripod, which consists of 3 pillars that walking ignores: hip strength, trunk stability, and dynamic balance. The Copenhagen study focused precisely on reactivating these 3 pillars that weaken with age. Let's start with the most important pillar for independence and for preventing 80% of falls at home: explosive hip and lower body strength. Forget the weights. All you need is a sturdy, stable kitchen chair. Exercise 1. The controlled ascent and descent. The secret of the chair. This exercise is a variation of the simple act of standing up and sitting down, but performed in a way that multiplies its muscular and skeletal effectiveness. It's not just a movement. It's a diagnostic tool and intensive training session wrapped in an everyday activity. How to do it. 1. Starting position. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair, with your feet shoulder-width apart and slightly forward. Keep your back straight, as if a string were being pulled from the top of your head. 2. The slow ascent. Place your hands crossed over your chest. This prevents you from using your arms for momentum. Lean slightly forward and push through your heels. The goal is not to stand up quickly, but to rise deliberately using only the strength of your glutes and thighs. 3. The pause. Once you are standing, take a second to feel in control. 4. The critical descent. Here's the magic. The descent phase should last twice as long as the ascent. Lower yourself slowly, imagining you're sitting on a fragile egg and don't want to break it. This controlled descent is called eccentric strength, and it's the most effective way to combat sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, and protect your knees. When your knees buckle as you step down, it's your eccentric strength that's failing you. If you can perform this exercise slowly, maintaining complete control during the descent without collapsing in the chair, you've already won half the battle against lower body weakness. We want this action to evolve from an act of inertia to an act of conscious strength. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. If it's too easy, use a slightly lower chair. If it's too difficult, you can use a table for finger support at the start, but your goal should be to eventually get free of the support. This exercise not only strengthens the legs, by forcing you to keep your back straight and not use your arms, it automatically activates the core muscles, which are essential for stability. We are training the body so that, when it needs to get up from the ground after a fall, it has the necessary strength to do so without assistance. Now, let's move on to the second exercise, which focuses directly on lateral stability and coordination, drastically reducing stumbles. Now, let's move on to upper body strength. While it might seem like we only focus on our legs to prevent falls, consider this. If you trip or slip, what's the first thing you instinctively use to break your fall and protect your head and face? Your arms. Quick reaction strength in the upper body is often the only difference between a minor scare and a serious fracture. Exercise number 5 is the isometric wall, push-up hot. This exercise is safe, adjustable, and surprisingly, one of the most functional for maintaining independence in daily life. This exercise focuses on functional upper body strength, crucial for tasks ranging from opening heavy doors to pushing yourself up if you fall to the ground. The correct technique and the power of isometrics. Time under tension. 1. Starting position. Stand facing a solid wall, at a distance slightly greater than the length of your outstretched arm. Place your hands at shoulder height, shoulder width apart. Your feet should be firmly on the ground. 2. The controlled descent. 2 seconds. Begin the movement by slowly leaning towards the wall, bending your elbows. It is crucial that your body moves like a straight plank, from your heels to your head. Avoid letting your hips sag or your back arch. We want this descent to be deliberate and slow. 3. The isometric hold, activating time under tension. When your elbows form a comfortable angle, or close to 90 degrees, if your strength allows, stop. Hold that static position, feeling the tension in your chest and arms. This is where we activate time under tension. Tut. We'll slowly count to 3 to 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This isometric pause not only builds muscle but also refines your proprioception and improves reaction time. Your nervous system learns to control force at the most vulnerable position, preparing you to react to an unexpected push or slip. 4. The return push. 2 seconds. Push vigorously against the wall, returning to the starting position in a controlled movement that should also last about 2 seconds. This is not an explosive rebound, but rather a conscious and sustained effort. Timing control is key to this functional exercise. 2 seconds of lowering, 3 to 5 seconds of isometric hold, and 2 seconds of pushing. If you find it difficult to keep the plank straight at first, you can move a little closer to the wall. As you gain strength, gradually move further away to increase the resistance. We are using gravity and your own body weight in a very safe way. I remember a gentleman, Don Ricardo, who was a carpenter. As he got older, he began to experience shoulder pain and found it very difficult to use heavy tools. He thought he was losing his calling. I suggested this exercise to him. He was amazed at how something as simple as pushing against a wall restored stability and strength to his shoulders and chest. He told me, "Doctor, now I feel my shoulders anchored. I'm no longer afraid to pick up the drill." He not only regained his strength, but also his confidence in his everyday movements. Perform 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions. As with the squat exercise, focus on the quality of the movement over the quantity. This exercise strengthens the pectoral, deltoid, and triceps muscles, which are vital not only for lifting things, but also for stabilizing your posture while walking, and to stabilize your posture while walking. And this upper body stability is what we often forget to prioritize. Chest and arm strength not only allows us to carry grocery bags or open heavy doors, but also acts as a powerful anchor for our spine. helping to maintain that upright posture that prevents falls and facilitates deeper, more efficient breathing. Take a moment between sets to feel that connection. Feel how your shoulder blades subtly draw together at the end of the movement and how your chest opens slightly. This is the feeling of a body structure that is centered and ready to move with purpose. Now, after strengthening the upper structure, let's focus directly on the foundation of all functional movement, the ability to lift the knee and maintain walking speed. We now move on to our fourth and final key exercise. We'll call it Exercise 4, Seated Leg Raise with Resistance. This exercise may seem deceptively simple, performed from the comfort of a chair, but its functional impact is tremendous. We'll focus directly on the hip flexors and quadriceps, which are the true engines that propel the leg forward when walking. If squats give us the explosive power to stand up, this exercise gives us the speed and clearance ability to walk without stumbling. This brings us to what I call the sixth vital sign, your walking speed. There is robust evidence, my friends, that your walking speed is a stronger predictor of longevity and future health than many other traditional markers like blood pressure or cholesterol. If your walking speed decreases, we know your hip flexors are weakening, and we need to act immediately. How do we perform this lift? It's simple. Sit in a firm chair with a backrest, making sure your back is completely straight and your shoulders are relaxed. Your knees should be bent at 90 degrees and your feet flat on the floor. The key here is isometric control. Choose one leg to start with, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, focus on the muscle in your upper thigh and slowly lift your knee up. Lift until your shin is parallel to the floor, or as close as your flexibility allows, without rounding or hunching your back. Hold that high, challenging position for 2 firm seconds. Feel the intense contraction right where your hip meets your thigh and in your quadriceps. Here comes the crucial part: control. Next, lower your leg very slowly, taking about 3 or 4 seconds to control the descent until your foot gently touches the ground. The eccentric phase, the lowering, is fundamental for building muscular endurance. Performing this exercise unilaterally, that is, one leg at a time, isn't a whim. It's a necessity. Most of us, due to years of asymmetrical movement patterns, have significant muscle imbalances between our left and right legs. Training one leg at a time allows us to focus on the weaker side and correct that disparity. When we walk, we alternate legs, not move as one, so unilateral training is the most functional. When we walk, we do so alternating, not in one block, so unilateral training is the most functional. Now that we have established a solid foundation in the center, the torso and hip, we will move on to a muscular structure that is, without exaggeration, the best predictor of your future independence and the key to healthy circulation, the calf. We are going to address Exercise 3, Standing Heel Raise with Balance Challenge. Historically, the calf muscle has been viewed merely as an aesthetic feature or an auxiliary motor, but functionally, it's much more. Think of this muscle as your peripheral heart. When your calves are strong and dynamic, they act as a powerful pump, helping to propel venous blood back to the heart, combating gravity, and reducing swelling in the lower extremities. Weak calves not only compromise your ability to walk and propel yourself forward, but also hinder venous return, impacting overall circulatory health. This pumping effect is vital, especially if you spend time sitting or traveling, as it helps prevent blood pooling. And let's talk about independence. Several geriatric studies have shown that calf strength, specifically the ability to perform a sustained number of heel raises, surpasses even quadriceps strength as the most reliable indicator of how long a person can remain independent, climb stairs effortlessly, and, crucially, recover from an unexpected fall. It's not just strength, it's localized muscular endurance and quick reaction time. The technique is simple in appearance, but requires total concentration in 3 critical phases. Preparation phase. You will need a firm surface to hold onto at first, the back of a chair or a wall. Position yourself with your feet hip-width apart, shoulders relaxed, and eyes looking straight ahead. The support is only for initial assistance. The goal is to rely on it as little as possible. Your posture should be flawless, as if a string were gently pulling your head toward the ceiling. Phase 1. Concentric lift and balance. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly lift your body, pushing up onto the balls of your feet. Lift as high as you can, aiming for maximum contraction in the back of your leg. Once you're up, this is the moment of the balance challenge. Gently lift your toes off the supporting surface if you can, and hold your balance in that elevated and challenging position for a firm 3 seconds. This balance exercise not only works the muscle but also forces your vestibular system, that internal GPS located in your inner ear, to immediately activate to stabilize you. We're training the brain and muscle simultaneously to handle constant postural micro-adjustments. If you need to lightly touch the support to maintain your balance, do so, but prioritize the quality of the lift. Phase 2. The controlled eccentric descent. This is where we build true endurance and strengthen the tendons. Instead of dropping quickly, lower yourself very slowly, taking about 4 to 5 seconds. To control the descent, imagine you are lowering a very valuable weight and don't want it to hit the ground hard. Feel the controlled tension and stretch in your Achilles tendon and soleus muscle. This eccentric phase creates controlled microtraumas that, as they heal, strengthen the muscle and tendon, providing crucial resilience against falls. This deliberate slowness prevents injuries that often occur due to uncontrolled, ballistic movements. We'll perform about 10 controlled repetitions this way. If 10 is too challenging at first, do 5 with perfect form. Perfect technique always trumps quantity. Once you've mastered the double leg raises, the natural next step will be to try them unilaterally, just as we did with the knee raises. Training one calf at a time magnifies the balance challenge, as you must stabilize not only laterally, but also on the frontal axis, mimicking the actual movement of walking. The foot is the first point of contact with the world, and if the structure that propels it is compromised. Today we've covered the fundamental pillars for building that solid foundation. From knee raises to activate your core, to controlled eccentric work that strengthens the crucial Achilles tendon and improves your balance and proprioception. Remember, fall prevention and the longevity of your movement begin on the ground, with resilient and responsive feet and ankles. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Which of these stability exercises do you find most challenging? And what small step will you take this week to improve your foundation? Leave your comments below. If you found value in this guide to building a structure that won't compromise, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming longevity strategies, and share this video with anyone who might need it. Thank you for joining this mission of mindful movement. Until next time, and take good care. Dr. Elena Castillo.